So Wendy, let's go to the innovation question. What I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years is I've written a lot about innovation, several books about innovation. So I'm always looking at companies that lead the market, right? Um, but what I've seen in the last few years is people are struggling to catch up to the world is growing much quicker than usually businesses lead the world. That's how the world progresses. But let me give you three examples of where it hasn't been keeping up. Okay. So if you look at industries, in the last few years, we've had COVID, we've had the Ukraine crisis, we've had climate change crisis, and we've had massive digital transformations, right? In different ways, each one of them has completely transformed industries. What that has meant is there are a whole bunch of new applications that have become essential that we didn't need 5 years ago. So let me give you three examples. Healthcare, telemedicine, right?
Hmm.
We all wanted to go see our physician or whatever in person. Well, now we're much more comfortable in the last 5 years doing telemedicine. So that's become an essential application for a clinic or hospital or whatever, right? Didn't need it 5 years ago. You look at utilities. 5 years ago, EVs weren't a big demand on their grid. Now they need charging station infrastructure and billing. That's like an application must have. If not today, they need to be preparing for it, right? Again, brand new applications become essential. You look at retail. 5 years ago, we used to all walk up into stores and, hey, I don't need this, please refund it, right? Now, 20% of e-commerce is returned. We can't afford to have associates making a decision. Should I take it? Should I not? There needs to be a much more scaled up returns process, which is not only accepting it, but the reverse logistics of making sure it goes to the right supplier or it goes to charity or whatever, right? I wrote a book with two SAP executives last year, and we identified 100 of these applications that didn't exist a few years ago. Suddenly now they become important. Now, this is not innovation. This is what industry morphing has forced on corporations. None of them had thought about, hey, look, I need a EV charging application or a retail return application and so on. Okay. So that's one big catch up, if you will. It's the opposite of innovation. It's catch up.
Hmm.
It's needed. The second set of applications I'm seeing is the world has changed a lot. You know, we in the West sometimes just look at each other and go, we're doing fine. It's actually we're not doing fine. And let me give you a couple of examples. In the late 90s, early 2000s, there was a Unicode standard that became widely prevalent. And the Unicode mission statement is every human being should be able to interact with a phone, a mobile phone, or a system in their own language. It's a great mission, right? Now, the Unicode standard supports today 150,000 characters, which means they can handle left to right scripts, top to bottom scripts, God knows what all, right? Because you've traveled a lot. That is our world today. There's so many scripts, so many languages, so many accents, and so on. And it's great that computers can handle all that. But from a business perspective, what we haven't, that was called internationalization. Now we're in a phase called localization, where we're saying, okay, these countries are coming up with, and these are countries that are growing much faster than EU or US. They're coming up with their whole standards for statutory reporting, e-invoicing, different exotic taxes that we had never heard about, new customs rules, new payroll processes, and so on. Again, if you want to live in this world, your systems need to have all those capabilities. Again, I'm seeing customers having to catch up because a lot of vendors don't support. SAP does better than others, but there are 185 countries. Even SAP only supports about 60 or so, right? And most of the others only support 5 or 10. So it's like corporations are saying, I need help with this, right? The third area where I think we're catching up is, we wrongly in the software industry bought into the saying software will eat the world. Software alone cannot eat the world. We need robotics, we need drones, we need sensors, we need satellites. In combination, we can deliver just amazing innovation. So I see a lot of vendors who are not prepared. They pretend like a warehouse runs like it did 20 years ago. What today's distribution center has all kinds of robots running around, all kinds of conveyor belts, modern conveyor belts, all kinds of next generation forklifts and so on. Software doesn't seem to acknowledge that all that exists. So I think all these areas, those three areas, vertical, geography, and other technology, I'm seeing a lot of need for catch up. You can call it innovation, because when a company does something different, they call it, a lot of them call it innovation, and it's, fine, call it innovation. But it really is catch up.